Hello, everyone. It's your friend Tristan Miller. I'm just here to inform you that I'm recording my first stand-up comedy album and special on May the 4th in New York City at Caveat at 4 p.m. You can go to the link in my bio on my social media platforms, or you can go to caveat.com, go to May the 4th, and buy tickets there. Highly recommend that you get them early as they are cheaper that way. Also, after the show, I'm going to go, Phantom Menace is playing in theaters. So I'm going to take a big group to go to the nearest AMC or whatever Cineplex and go see my favorite Star Wars movie. I'll say it with my full chest. My favorite Star Wars movie in theaters again. So hope to see you at both things. If you have to pick one, just pick my show, please. I would like to sell out the house if possible. Anyway, love you. Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Coming soon to theaters, podcasts, film reviews, and so much more. Available at tristanmiller.substack.com.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Focus Testing, a podcast about movies where we make a movie. My name is Tristan Miller, and joining me today is, I'm realizing I do not know your surname, Snap.
Yeah, I don't tend to use the surname. I only have one really for official documents. I don't want people to know who I am.
Well, that's fair enough. Well, joining me that is Snap. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Movies. You'll know them, you love them. Do you remember the first, what was your first memory of being in a cinema?
Oh, great question. I don't know. Maybe it was I definitely remember going to see Star Wars, the shit one.
Okay, there's been a lot of Star Wars movies that haven't been great. You're gonna have to narrow it down a little bit.
Oh no, when they first decided to make them shit. Jar Jar Binks.
Okay.
My man Jar Jar.
Fair
I
enough.
saw him in the cinemas. What a letdown.
I mean, I feel as though there's just not enough of an age gap that I will unfortunately staunchly defend Jar Jar Binks and my love for him, but I understand. I fully understand.
I watched that movie again not that long ago, and he's worse than I remember. He's fucking unwatchable.
Well, I'll say this. I'm sorry you feel that way.
But like the actor seems like a lovely guy. No criticism of the actor. He got a lot of bullying out of that seems unjustified. But the character, dog shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ahmed's a lovely man. But yeah, for sure. I think I have a bias because seeing that as a little kid, because it was one of the first movies I saw. I was like, he's funny. What is that? And my mom was like, that's physical comedy. Here, have a look at Charlie Chaplin as well. And that's why I started doing comedy. So like,
Yeah,
I have a
right.
real soft spot for it. But I understand, as specifically an adult, it must have been grating. Yeah. What was that experience like though, besides being disappointed by that movie? Were you
Honestly,
disappointed
I
as a
don't
kid?
remember. I was still a kid. I mean, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it. You know, I probably had a similar experience of thinking Jar Jar was cool. But yeah, I mean, it was, God, man. And I've watched it again and I was wrong, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Man, I must have gone to movies when I was young, but I don't remember. I'll be honest, man, I don't have the best of memories. There's a decent chunk of my life where I too many drugs, and you know, my mental health has never been good. So I don't remember that well most things.
Fair enough. Well, if you were then let me
I saw Avatar twice, I can tell you that. The original Avatar, I saw that twice in the movies. That was a mistake.
Oh yeah?
The first time, absolute spectacle. I was like, wow. And then I went again and I'd seen it. You know what I mean? I'd seen the spectacle, so I could just focus on the storyline.
Mm.
And if that's all that you're doing with Avatar, it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah. Fair play. Absolutely. I had kind of the inverse. I saw Avatar the first time. I was like, this story is bogus. And then I went to see it again, but I'm like, oh my gosh, the visual effects, incredible. And then I saw it a third time because there was nothing else going on in the cinema at the time. And I was like, I guess see Avatar again. Still yet to see the second one. But what drug pairs best with a movie going experience, do you think? You said you've done a lot of drugs. I'm assuming you've gone to the
I mean,
cinema.
yeah, movies. I mean, you smoke weed when you go to the movie, you know. But I mean, it
Yeah.
depends on the movie. You do some shrooms or something.
Oh, yeah.
But it feels like I don't know. It's. I mean, if you go into the theater, you should do a drug where chances are you're not going to ruin it for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like, you
do.
don't want to go in there all fucking jumped up on speed or something, being like, "Yeah, get him, Han, get him." You know, no one wants
100%.
that.
Yeah, that's very good. That makes sense. Would you have a favorite cinema snack when you go?
Um, oh, nah. Do you know? Okay. Do you know what I do quite like that they do at the cinema? But I don't think they do anything particularly good there. You know what I mean? But there's something about the ice creams that are like different there to anywhere else. And so there's like a weird nostalgia with it. I think I'll get an ice cream when I go there. Those weird little stumpy, I don't know if they're the same in America. These stumpy little, I assume in America they're fucking huge, but
You'd
like a
be right.
stumpy little, it's like a pre-made cone, ice cream, chocolate coated, no
Yeah,
scooping it out and it's like pre-made little packaged weird mushroom shaped fucking things. And they get me going, babe.
yeah, absolutely. I believe you're describing what is known as a chalk top. Am I correct in assuming? I don't know.
Yes.
But we do have ice cream in the States. It's kind of rare though. We're more a savory bunch when
Really?
we go to the cinema. Yeah, we're like, you can get a hamburger now and a beer. And I don't like that. I think it's a bit much.
No, I think that's good. You know, like my biggest gripe these days, I think, with movies is that they stopped doing intermission. And then like it was fine when it was a 90-minute movie, but now that you're doing big long movies again, and then they're all like, "Oh, we've got to charge this much money for tickets. The only way we make money." And then they like hike up all the food and everything, but they don't bother to do a break where they could sell more drinks and food. Why do you think we always do a break during comedy shows? So the bar makes money. You know what I mean? Like, why aren't they? Why aren't they doing that? And now they serve beers and shit. There should definitely be an intermission where we go out and sink a couple of beers and chat about the movie. You know, then, back in, let's see what happens.
That sounds great, actually.
Yeah,
I think you'd fixed it. I think you'd fixed the problem with all modern cinemas. Again, cultural differences. Doing comedy shows in the States, we don't do an intermission. You just have a
yeah, that's
waiter come by. Yeah. Or you just physically leave the space to grab a beer and come back. It's nuts.
yeah, that's madness.
Yeah, I don't
You must get
understand.
such audience fatigue.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Which is why every comedy show is like 90 minutes or less here.
yeah,
And it's
right.
generally just a showcase show. Anyway, um, okay. That's a little bit of like warm up preamble. Are you ready to get into the trivia of it all?
Yeah,
Right.
I fucking love trivia. Let's go.
Right. You can because you own a trivia league thing, right? You do
I do some quizzes. I run a quiz
fun.
company.
Got a quiz
I'm a
coming up.
yeah, I'm a quizzer, a quiz
You're a
master.
quizzer, Harry.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
yeah, 100%. So my first question for you is, what is movie?
What is movie?
What is movie? Please tell me. I don't know. I'm a little baby.
Uh, oh God. I guess moving pictures of people playing pretend.
Okay, I accept. Yes, excellent. No worries. There's no wrong answers to these trivia questions, despite them being trivia questions.
It's exactly
Um,
my kind of trivia.
100%. Okay. I think this one, of course, you being in South Island of New Zealand, I think, I don't want to milk the New Zealand aspect too much, but I'm going to. Um, who has the best hair out of all the Lord of the Rings characters?
Out of all the Lord of the Rings characters,
Who is the best hair?
I've watched those movies quite a few times, and that's not an aspect of. I'd feel bad giving it up. I feel like I don't feel like what I can do is an educated answer here. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want people to come for me being like, I get it. I'm probably wrong. I haven't done the prerequisite research. It's got to be an elf, obviously. Elves have the best hair.
Mhm.
I mean, Legolas's hair is probably too dirty. He's out in the field, right? He's out in he's doing fights and running, and so it's got to be one of the ones back at the Citadel or whatever they call it. And what's the guy? Was that guy in the Matrix also an elf?
Yeah,
Is that
Hugo
guy?
Weaving. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that guy.
that guy. That guy, or live Taylor, live
Tyler,
Tyler.
you got it. You trust your gut.
Yeah.
Trust your gut. You got it.
uh,
Yeah, I think
probably had
Elrond and
great hair.
Arwen, great
Yeah, I
hair.
bet they had great hair.
Yeah, super, super answer. I gotta be honest with you. You're just doing a heck of a good job. Now, this one's for five. This is for $5. From which actor would you steal a car?
From which actor would I steal a car?
You have to steal a car from an actor. Who is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long list of actors I'd be happy to steal a car from.
Okay, go
They're
off, King.
not good people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't steal Keanu Reeves' car. He's a good dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, but like most of them aren't good people. I'll steal any of their cars. I'll steal Caitlin Olsen's car just for the ongoing Always Sunny gag of her car getting fucked up. I think it'd be nice for her in real life to have her car stolen as well,
Yeah, yeah. Life imitates art and in reverse. That's
Yeah.
very good.
She's probably not a horrible person, but I have opted for her instead of someone like Will Smith.
Yeah, 100%. Here's the thing. I like that question a lot because a lot of people, everyone comes at it from a different angle. Because people have been like, who can I take in a fight? I'm like, that's not the question. Who can,
I'm not
but
stealing it with them there. I'm not carjacking them.
exactly. And then,
They've probably got a dozen cars. They're going to just forget about one day, and I'm going to take it.
yeah, that's often also the angle. Someone was like Jay Leno because he's so
Right,
many. Who
true.
fucking who
And he's
cares?
such a dickhead. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'd steal from Jay Leno. He's got such a good collection. There'd be something there I really want.
For sure. And
And he's a Pete's. So,
yeah, yes,
no,
excellent.
absolutely wouldn't feel guilt.
No, absolutely not. He's got all that late night money that he hasn't used yet. He keeps bragging about how he doesn't spend any of his late night money. And I'm like, you should. Or if you're not spending it, you should give it away. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
what what book do you think should never be turned into a movie?
What book do I think should never be turned into a movie?
That's correct.
Hmm. If I repeat the question, will I come up with an answer?
That does seem to be your tactic, and it is working.
Off the bat is obviously the Bible. We don't need any more of that shit. I think that we can park that. We've done enough, and none of it was good. You know,
Uh-huh.
um, anything. I know we've already done it, but like the Twilights, obviously, we didn't need to give that any more air.
Mhm.
There's a lot that's already been done. I don't think 50 Shades needed to exist. Um, that is my extensive list.
I like how you
I think
pivoted. You
okay.
pivoted very well to be like, "Hey, listen, I don't know any other books, but these ones shouldn't have been done." But the answer
I've got
that
another.
you
I've got another. They shouldn't
okay,
make a movie out of the Guinness Book of World Records. I just think the narrative would be a mess. You know what I mean?
that is such a good answer.
To be honest,
Yeah.
that's quite good.
Structurally difficult, you know?
Yeah, too artistic, too art filled. Yeah. Oh, that's very good. Um, which two horror film feat sorry, let me tell you that again. Jeez Louise. Which two
Mhm, mhm.
horror characters would you like to see face off like a Freddy versus Jason style? But it can't be those two because obviously it's already been done.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of horror movies.
Okay. Then just pick two.
So this is yeah, the
To be
the
honest.
Ring. That one, the Ring, the girl out of the Ring.
Okay.
They made a Pooh Bear horror movie recently. Quite
They
like to
did.
see her fight Pooh.
Oh bother.
There's something about the Ring and Pooh that works together.
Snap. I've seen what you've done here. Quite
I'm
good.
not proud of
No.
it.
It's you know, here's the thing. It is a good answer. Very good. I I can't wait to see the Steamboat Willie horror film because that's in public domain now. It's that one
Yeah.
specific instance of Mickey Mouse, but it can be done.
There's I think there's actually like they used in advertising and stuff for Steamboat Willie like pictures with the like more modern Mickey as well. So there's actually like an argument that there's more modern Mickey. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer dog. I don't know the law, but I like yeah. I think I read a thing that there is actually more of Mickey available than what Disney would like you to believe.
Interesting.
Ooh,
Ooh.
spooky Disney.
I got two more questions for you. Sorry, let me say that
Yeah.
like I should, which is I got two more questions for you, Columbo style. Um, who is your first character crush? Who do you remember going, "Oh, that character is so cool. I want to be like them or be with them."
I'm a simple man. It was Drew Barrymore in Charlie's Angels.
Excellent. When you started kind of making that dr sound, I was like, if this motherfucker says Jar Jar Binks, I'm gonna scream. But no, that's a great answer. Drew Barrymore, Charlie's Angels, excellent choice.
Yeah.
Great, right? And finally, as always, why is Austin Powers so sexy? What
Oh
about?
man, so many reasons. I mean, I think primarily it's that he's a good dude. I mean, even back then in the 60s, this is a man who was touting consent as absolutely primary in any lovemaking. You know what I mean? This is a man who genuinely cares. This is a man who's out there to make sure you have a good time during the sexual exploits as well as him, which in this world is so rare for a straight man such as him. Or myself, I have no interest in them enjoying. But who? There's nobody. I think he's yeah, I think primarily that he's a good dude.
I think that's an excellent answer. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready for
And it's his moves. And it's also the hairy chest.
the hairy chest and his
And it's his
moves?
outfit. Outfits help a lot.
That's true. I would say this if I saw someone specifically like a modern person
Mm.
in those outfits, I'd be like confidence alone. Do that. You
Yeah.
gotta be like, yeah, no, that does it for me at a certain level. You're like, yeah, no, right. Um, are you ready for the game? Are you ready for the pitch?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you had to think about it. I'm glad you you took a moment. You're like, yeah. So our random word is morsel.
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 Tasty
M O
little
R.
morsel.
Yeah. Morsel. Morsel. A small amount.
Such an obscure, strange word to use.
A small smackerel of something. Um, so I have a couple ideas off the top of my head.
Mhm.
Um, but if you have anything you want immediately to pitch to me, I want to make sure I'm not
I mean, the
overly.
only thing that morsels make me think of little bits of food, and this isn't a movie pitch, but I've always thought someone should open like a restaurant that's just with like little bits, and you just get little bits. You know how you sometimes you want like I want like 10 different flavors, but I'm not going to buy 10 meals. You know what I mean? I'd like to
Yeah,
just have one of each little thing. You know, little. It's kind of like sushi, but whiter. Is that a movie?
sushi, but whiter is. I'll be honest with you, Snap. Yeah, that's absolutely a premise of a movie. You could absolutely have a guy who is trying to make that restaurant, and what happens to
Yeah,
him. So you have a guy or a gal or somebody, great people, trying to start this restaurant, and I like that a lot as a premise. Because also the can I be honest? It's a strong. I'm 100% with you. Sometimes I want a little bit of a shepherd's pie, and I
uh-huh,
want also a little bit of a sirloin steak.
uh-huh.
Now,
Mhm.
one might make the argument that buffets are this, but but with a buffet, there's always pressure to eat too much.
Yeah, yeah, and also there's like you've got to get up and get the stuff. Like I don't go out, to be serving myself. I
Yeah,
can serve myself at home. If I'm going out and paying money, it's to get something I can't get at home. There's no one to serve me at home. That's the experience I'm paying for.
yeah, 100%. And I think that I don't know how I don't know how I didn't see a single buffet when I was down there, but all you can eat buffets are pretty common here in America, and they are like again encouraging gluttony. Whereas I feel like
Yeah,
this guy probably worked at a buffet and saw like the damage it was doing to his community and was like, guys, we don't have to do that. It can be little bits.
yeah, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So he's a
Um
good dude. I mean, we've established that. We're having a protagonist that we like. Then,
yeah, a decent guy who's just trying to make
yeah,
people their lives a little bit easier and a little bit more healthy, I think.
he's not a chef though, right? Like he has absolutely no place doing this in terms of his qualifications.
I think that's key. I think that's very key to it.
Yeah,
I think okay, what about okay, I think he should be like a 14-year-old assistant manager at a buffet. And he goes, "This is crazy, guys." And then so he starts a business because you can work when you're 14 in the States. I don't know if you know this. It's pretty normal to have child labor. It's fucked. Not good. But then he starts his own business doing little
yeah,
bits. Um,
yeah. And,
and
and,
then I
and like also keep his costs down because he's been working at this all you can eat buffet. He exploits the all you can eat nature of it to basically take the food from there and then on sell it in little bits at his restaurant. And he's opened up right next door. It's in the same building. Like there's a door just goes between. He just basically pops into the kitchen and takes what he needs. As long as he puts it on one of the plates that you pay for your all you can eat, he's allowed to take it next door to his restaurant. Pretty sure that's the rules.
very good. Yes, and I like that a lot. I think that's got to be like he's got to do it twice, and the third time he gets caught, right? Doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you
There's no
can't
way
get
it's
away
this
with it forever. And I think he
exactly.
knows that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think from there, there should be he's got to keep doing it, and so there's got to be like a heist scene where he's sneaking back in, like in Mission Impossible style, like crawling through the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Can he assemble a
Um,
crew? Can we get one of those like crew assembly montages?
I think so because he has to have. I think he has to have like an older brother who's 18 that helps him
Yep.
get the loan to start the business.
And when they do
Um,
the heist, he's the driver because he has the driver's license.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then when they do the heist, they'll also need a guy like monitoring, like a lookout. So he
Yeah.
can either be on a
It's like
computer.
he's got the tech stuff, right? Screens and the earpieces.
Yeah,
He was the AV club president at high school or some shit. That's who they've dragged in.
I
It's all high
absolutely,
school kids he's dragging in for this heist. That's
yeah, like that a lot. And it just cuts to him, and he's just like looking. He's just like on an iPad looking at the screen, like he's basically FaceTiming the guy that's sneaking around or whatever. And then he's
yeah,
also playing video games the entire time. He is not paying attention in the
absolutely.
slightest.
Now
Um,
we have accidentally defaulted to all of our characters being male.
oh,
So
that's true. I
next batch
mean,
we're gonna have to bring in, mix them up
yeah.
and have at
Well,
least two of them have a conversation that's not about the guys. Just one time so we can pass the test. Just enough to pass the test.
yeah,
It's all the
exactly.
studio let us do.
It's just that I would I agree. I think most of these guys seem to be fellas. I would make the argument that guy is gender neutral. I'm putting my foot down
You
on
want
this. I think
to
because I because in American English we say you guys instead of like y'all or you all,
Yep.
so or yous. Um, so I think it's. But anyway, point being, we can flip whoever. I think it would be cooler if the kid's older sibling was an older sister that has a driver's license who like
Yep.
say for example like their parents aren't getting on at the moment and so they're trying to connect and like trying to be there for each
Yeah.
other. I think
Also,
that could
she
be
should have a dirtbag boyfriend. They always do. I've seen movies before.
dirtbag boyfriend that sells
There's
them
always a
out.
dirtbag boyfriend, Probably rides a motorbike, wears a Monster Energy cap.
Has a skateboard, does not know how to use it. And
Has
that
a
part's
penis, does not know how to use that either.
but when he kickflips he does make someone come. It's like really weird. It's just like "Ugh." How the poles and the wires got crossed. Um, but I like I think the dirtbag. I always said doit bag. The doit bag boyfriend.
Doitbag. Gotta have a
Um,
doitbag boyfriend.
I think he should be. He should sell the kid out. During the heist, and he should let the owner of the
Yeah.
buffet know. And what do we want for the? And so I think there's got to be a confrontation.
Hmm.
Um, with that, and so I think obviously then the parents get involved,
Okay. Okay.
and I feel like then it kind of gets revealed in this moment that the reason this kid's putting together all this effort is because his father got laid off and he's like, well, I got to start a business so to provide for the family. And the reason there's
Yeah.
contention between the parents is because his dad's more traditional. It's like, I need a job. And the mother is like, I have a job offer. I should take it. There's no income. And he's like, no wife of mine is going to work. This is set in the
How about
1980s or whatever.
this could still be set today in America? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
fair enough. Fair enough.
How about this though? What
Mhm.
if now the whole family comes together to do a heist on the dad's old work?
Okay. I like that. They like, I think that's really good because you could do a gag where you're like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to talk to him. And then it just jumps cuts to, so how'd you break in? You know, he's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he's just like, I like that at heist is old work. And then, oh, that's so good. Where does he work, do you think?
Wow, yeah, where's a good place to do a heist? I mean, obviously there's casinos, but that's been done a million times. We're not doing
Hmm.
some sort of casino heist. It's not a bank, that's too obvious. What's
Hmm.
worth a
Hmm.
lot of money these days, but isn't money? You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Like a cheese factory. But you guys already have lots of cheese in America. You got caves of it. caves
We
of the stuff.
we really do. We have arguably too much. As someone who's from the
Yeah,
Midwest, there's a bit much. Um, I think I kind of I almost feel like
printer ink,
what?
printer ink.
Ooh, that's actually
You
quite
know what that
good.
stuff is worth? It's expensive
Betty, I think that's really good, and they can sell it on the black market then as well because it's got to be like
on the black ink
industrial.
market.
Thank you. um, I think as well like it's got to be like industrial size printering, not like
Oh yeah, like they're loading big barrels of it.
hmm
Inexplicably, it's in barrels. You know what I mean?
like oil, yeah, drums.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I like that a lot. Um, obviously, I feel like they have to like, get caught during the heist, and of course, it's after some ink is spilled, and then it's red ink, and they
Mm,
go, "Oh, I guess we caught you red-handed."
absolutely. And also, then it turns out that that was all part of the plan anyway. It's what you know how heist movies are. They
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like
yeah.
something goes wrong, and it's like, oh, but that was actually all part of the plan. Whoa! That's how they do it.
Because while
I've
they
watched
were
those.
busy, I like that a lot, and I like it because while they were busy at the red ink station, they're really sneaking out with cyan, which is the hardest one to refill.
Yeah,
Because that one goes out so quick. It's in high
yeah,
demand.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
and of course, it's got to be the youngest kid that gets caught because he'll just go to juvie. He won't get prosecuted as an adult.
yeah,
So,
they have a great thing in New Zealand where like your first crime or whatever you can get. I can't remember what they call it, but they're just kind of like, okay, this one's a slap on the wrist. So what the gangs do here in their tinny houses is, if they get raided, it's like they always have the young gang members selling the weed, so that if they do get raided, they just get diversion, I think they call it, and then they'll just put another young one in, and so no
uh,
one gets
you
done for
know,
it.
that's Kiwi ingenuity there.
It's pretty solid stuff.
Yes, that's not bad actually.
Grim insight into some of the underbelly of our country.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing though, is like that's so I feel typical of like, okay, you had one go at it. We all understand. Sometimes you make a mistake, but if you come back here again, no. Whereas immediately we're
Yeah,
like, we need to meet a quota. So I guess this you're 18, right? You turned 18 yesterday. You're gonna go for life. You're just
yeah.
never gonna get out of prison. Good luck. Really. Ugh. Ay, 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 yeah.
You got to keep those prisons full, though.
Yeah. How else are we gonna make license plates? Um,
Yep.
yeah. So but I do like that being like a bonding moment. But how do they get the kid back and away with the goods, do you reckon?
I mean, I think in some way the kid ends up in a barrel and they get him out in a barrel because someone's got to be in a barrel at some point.
That's that's brilliant. I like that a lot. He finds an empty barrel, hides in it, and then they load that one up and they
Yeah.
skip off on their merry way. Um, yeah, I like that a lot. I like this twist that it takes in the third act. That's very fun. Ugh. So we got. Are you someone who's good at remembering actors' names and faces and what you like about them?
I don't know. I've never like measured myself against others in this capacity. So I don't know if I'm the normal amount or if I'm bad or if I'm good, you know?
Okay.
I
Well, let
haven't
me.
competed.
Fair enough. Let me rephrase. Who do you think should play these people? Are you comfortable like pitching ideas?
Okay,
For
well, I mean, it's a tricky one because a lot of our cast are like teens, and I
Mhm.
certainly am not knowledgeable about the teen market, you know?
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm not like a Nickelodeon CEO type. Um,
It would be
um,
weird. Yeah, I hear what you're implying, and it would be weird if you like knew about the team.
yeah, yeah. Um, but like, I mean, I assume Timothy Chalamet will be in there because he'll always be able to play a teenager,
That's true. Yeah.
and that's how you sell tickets at the movies these days, is you get Timothy Chalamet in.
Yeah. Do you? I think he should play the dirtbag boyfriend. He's great at that. Have you seen him in Lady
That's
Bird?
a great role. That's a great. Yeah, I agree.
I think
Can we get Bryan Cranston as the dad? Is he up to much?
he is and isn't. He's like appearing at like fashion events, but he's not doing a lot of acting these days. So I think we could probably get Brian in. Yeah,
I
why
think
not?
it's a role that he'd really enjoy.
Yeah, it'd be heaps of fun. I think for him. I think
Mhm.
to play the older sister, someone who like maybe a Sydney Sweeney would be good. She often still plays a
Yep,
teenager.
yep, I've heard of her.
She could be decent at that. I think that would be good. I envision her as a redhead for whatever reason. So put a wig on her, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
yeah, you can just do that.
I think the factory owner, the ink factory owner, should definitely be Danny DeVito, and very villainous.
And then can we have Arnold play the owner of the all-you-can-eat buffet and their brothers?
Y- Yeah, 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 yeah,
You come in, you can get the buffet. Get out!
yeah.
Like, taking all my ink. I can't stand this. But that's very
Yeah,
good,
we
very
should. I
villain.
think the owner of the factory should be like sort of penguin-esque, you know? Get him to lean into that sort of
Or
approach.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Ah! Um, I think he could even be wearing a tux. I think that'd be very funny for no reason. Like he's like an ink tycoon instead of an oil tycoon. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I think we still have yet to cast our I what about this? What if about it's like what if our lead is a gal and it's Millie Bobby Brown?
That works. Sells tickets.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Or the other option we do is we take like a Harry Potter approach and we go searching for the kid who's going to play. But
Mm.
first, we'd have to write them as books and get them real successful as books so that we have the ability to be like, this is a big deal. Who's going to play this kid? And people don't care if it's a main actor. They're just excited about the process. So it does add a little more work to what we're doing. We have to write a very successful sort of kids, teens book series.
From my understanding,
But
that's incredibly easy. Anyone can do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it does make it easier for us to cast our lead. So
Yeah, true. I I think um I can't remember. I just I'm tripping up on a name, but for the mom, I feel like who would be really good, I think, genuinely, with Bryan
yeah,
Cranston would be Melanie Linsky. I think she would be really fun.
that would be fun.
Right? Like them as
Yeah,
like a funny fighting couple. They're like not getting along, but they clearly like each other. And Brian's like, he's got his big old beard and he's like, I just feel emasculated by the situation. And Melanie's so demure and it's like, well, I just happen to be up for CFO at this place and or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, I dig that. I definitely
good.
dig that.
Cool.
Can we find a role
Mhm.
for John Lithgow? I
Oh,
just
John
really like him,
Lithgow.
and I don't think he gets enough work these days.
I think yes, absolutely. He plays the janitor that lets the kid in to do the heist.
Love that. And while
He's
we're
a
at it, what's the mum in Home Alone?
Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, can we get her? Can we
Yeah,
find
why
something
not?
for her?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He would be the security guard that lets them into the ink factory, if you can believe it.
I
It
can
writes
believe it.
itself. Fine. I do like John Lithgow as an old janitor, but listen, I've seen a few
Yeah, I
things
like it.
here. You're a
Yeah.
good kid, but you know, I that was just me trying to do an excuse to do my John Lithgow impression. One that is not often
Not
asked
bad.
for, but
It's not bad.
not bad. I think about I'm gonna get the giggle. Think about that line, that moment in Shrek where they do the Muffin Man rhyme.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think about that like twice a week, and it's the funniest thing to me. It's just his delivery. She's married to the Muffin Man, like it's so good. It warms my
Yeah,
heart.
yeah.
Um,
Oh man, I went back a few years ago, rewatched Third Rock from the Sun, and it's still so good.
it's incredible. Um,
Yeah.
it's
He's
such a
also in a
good.
great movie. Have you seen Orange County with Jack Black and Colin Hanks?
No.
Great movie. I really enjoy it. It's silly, but he's in that, and also uh Catherine O'Halloran, is that her name? Sick.
Right? Yeah.
They
She's
play
always
like a couple, kind of. They were divorced, and movie
okay.
stuff happens.
Good movie
Watch the
stuff.
movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I'll watch it. What is called Orange County, right?
Yeah.
Hell, I'll have to play. I don't think I've ever seen Colin Hanks in anything, so that'll be interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Um, we started with Morsel as the title. Do you want that to be
Yeah, that's right.
right? Do you want that to continue to be the title? Do you want it to be Morsel colon the rise of Gru or whatever? Like, how do you feel about the title?
I think there is something engaging about just calling it Morsel.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I don't know. Like, you hear that, you're like, what is? It's the kind of like that's the kind of title you'd give to some movie that like wins an Oscar. Because you know, it's just it seems artsy because you're struggling to understand why the fuck we've called it that, and so you're like, well, it must be more artistic than I am. Give it an Oscar. You
I
know?
like that. Yeah, 100%. I think John Lithgow could get an Oscar for his performance as Willie the janitor. Because he's got to be like,
Absolutely.
oh, no, that's so good actually, though, because he's just sits Millie Bobby Brown as like, listen, you're a good kid. But when I wasn't getting along with my wife, and he like lays it out and he's like gets really choked up and it's like, I know, I just miss her every day. I can't look, but I drove her off. So family is important. But yeah, I think that's excellent. Morsel it is then. Do you think we should direct it or do you think we should try and hire a director for this thing?
I'm like an ideas man, not a doing any work guy.
Sure.
Uh,
I
so like I
respect
think we
that.
should hire in a director. What's that kid? What's that kid who done them the Cornetto trilogy? What's that guy?
Oh, Edgar
You know
Wright,
the guy.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get Edgar Wright. Let's get
That
that.
would
He's
be,
good.
can I tell you, that fits what we're doing quite well. That's an excellent
Yeah,
call.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Make it like a sort of teen comedy movie thing. Edgar Wright, all sort of punchy, fun. Pow pow. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I
you
like that
know.
a lot. Oh, great. I think we have a winner here, Snap. I really
Yeah,
do.
is that we don't need to work out who the catering team's going to be or any other production roles? Who
Oh,
would you
no,
like
no,
to
that
see as like the main gaffer? You know what I mean?
I wish I knew any gaffers off the top of my head to be like, haha, check. But like simply, unfortunately, ooh.
Yeah, I wish I'd pricked for the skag better.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think, the UPM could be, I don't know. But yeah, that's very good. Cool. Do you want to do a quick lightning round then?
Yeah, lightning round me up.
Right. We have install, INSTAL. So we both get the same word and we both do a quick hit.
Oh yeah, right.
So for me, install is about a guy who's trying to put in a new pipe in a toilet and he gets stuck in the stall. He gets locked in it. And so he's install and he's installed.
Install. That's great. That's really good.
Hey,
I
thanks.
just thought we'd do like a reboot of Cable Guy, some creepy guy installing stuff in your home and sort of it gets creepier and creepier. God, that movie's good, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really is. I'm
Yeah, so if we just steal that and give it a different name so we don't have to pay the rights, and that's install.
And now you're thinking like a movie exec. Excellent.
Yeah. Big picture man, not to do the work man.
I have eject, EJ rather, ect. You know how to spell eject. Fuck it.
Eject. Yeah. I mean, this is like a fighter pilot movie,
Mm-hmm.
all action. You know, it's sort of let's be real. All my movies are knockoffs. It's sort of a knockoff of Top Gun, but without using Top Gun, so we don't have to pay the rights for Top Gun. But that's what you think it is. I've got it. No, okay, that's what you think it is. But then actually, early on, right, the guy has to eject, and then he gets like all fucked up in the crash. You know what I mean? Like he ejects, but it goes a little wrong. And then what you find out is it's actually like because the company that's kind of making that stuff has been cutting corners, and it ends up being this like big like political thriller about all the like factors that go into this jet ending up being in the position it was to make this guy so injured, and then all the court cases around. You know the stuff. You know the
That
stuff.
honestly fucking rips. I would absolutely watch that film.
Yes.
That sounds excellent. My version of eject is it's the 1990s. You're working at a video store. A brand new movie's come out. But once you get the tape in, you can't eject it. And then it's like a cursed tape. You can't get it out.
Yeah.
You try to like rewind it, it won't rewind, and it's slowly like, it like, I don't know, melts your brain or something. It's a bad tape. It's like it makes you, it's this. It slowly turns you in to VCRs. It curses you. So as you're trying to pull out the tape, it won't eject, and you get sucked into the VCR, and you get melded into it, and that's how a DVD is made. And it's and
Yeah,
then it turns out it's Betamax trying to get back by putting these cursed VHXs. So finally, last one of the lightning round. We have attractive.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
me,
it's going to be like a Pixar. I'm going Pixar, sort of on a farmyard, and it's like a love story between tractors, and
Snap.
that's all you need. I don't need to tell you anymore.
Yeah, that's great. Would see that movie. So this is about a mad scientist who's trying to reverse the polarity of like neutrons or whatever, and he's having a hell of a time of it. And then what ends up changing him from his evil ways is, of course, that he finds love, and that's my story. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you can change him.
You can. Why not? He just needs to get his head out of his ass and stop trying to murder people. I think what would be quite good actually for the twist of that is like you think that's what it is, and then she just cuffs him at the end. It's like, listen, man. Look, I do genuinely like you, but you did just murder everyone in Bosnia. I need you to go to prison.
Yeah. There's no redemption for that. You are getting life in prison.
Unfortunately,
I'm glad you feel bad about it now, but
okay. That's it. What would you like people that listen to this podcast to know about you, Snap?
Nothing. I don't want anyone to know anything about me, Tristan.
Your surname,
nah,
not what you do for a living, nothing.
Yeah, they should go like I'm only on Facebook because I'm an old man and I don't have the other social medias. So if you're one of them youngins who's not on Facebook, then you can't follow my shit. But Snap Comedian Cult Leader is my page. I've been running a church of comedy to try and get tax exemption. And then at some point, if you follow that page, you'll find when I've got a special coming out. I don't know when.
Okay.
I don't know when, but it's ready. It's done. It's edited. It's been produced. You could
Okay.
watch that special for a small amount of money, and you'll be like, "Wow, this is a special."
Well, congrats on it coming out sometime, but that's quite exciting. I will pay that small amount of money and I will watch it. I'm
Yes.
trying to be way better at supporting like fellow artists because one thing coming back has been like, oh wow, we gotta really support each other here. So I will absolutely pay a small amount or a large amount of money to see it.
Yeah. It will be a small amount.
Okay, understood.
That
Well, I
I
appreciate
promise
that.
you.
But thank you so much for doing this, and thank you to the listener for listening to the podcast this far. If you want to support it, you can go to tristanmiller.substack.com and subscribe there for early access to the episodes, as well as a bonus podcast where I talk to people about their comfort movies called Movies to Fall Asleep To. I also do
Ooh.
film reviews there sometimes. The most recent one is I saw the new Mad Max, and it fucking rules. Go see it. It is so good. Chris Hemsworth.
I didn't like the other one. I didn't like
Hmm?
the Fury Road.
It's very grim. I saw it maybe once, and I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah. I
But this one,
I just found it quite boring. But the second one's better?
I like it more. It's a lot more
Yeah.
though, like lore heavy, if that makes sense. It's kind of like
Okay,
George
that's good.
Miller going, okay, so this is logistically how this universe works. And for
Oh,
me,
yeah, I
as
like
someone
that.
who's a loser, I love it.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
can be a big old nerd. I can be a fucking loser as well. I'm keen on some world building. I'm keen on some
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah. But with that being
Yeah.
said, Hemsworth's performance is just electric and he's so fun in the picture. He's the reason I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it.
I didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah.
That's how little I paid attention.
He's got a big old fake nose. It's fun. He's like
Oh,
doing
right.
like a real kind of like bogan and like, oh come on guys, let's go, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
it's quite fun seeing a burly man run around in the desert.
He is funny, man. Like he's definitely shown himself to have some good comedy chops.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you again for doing this. It's always good to see you, and I
Absolute pleasure.
hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, man. Loved it. And yeah, we'll chat again soon. Always good to catch up.
Mhm.